What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. I just wanted to make a video talking about my Dallas Regionals experience, kind of a channel update, life update, all in one kind of video, just to, talk to you guys a bit, show you my list from Dallas Regionals as well. First, I want to shout out PotownStore.com. Of course, I'm very happy to be working with them as my sponsor for the channel. And you can use code Celio for 5% off to get PTCGO codes over there, and Sword and Shield codes will be in stock very soon. Also, shout out to FlipsideGaming.com, where I write free articles. There was a short break over the new year where I did not have new articles out weekly, but that should be starting back up very soon. And you can use code Celio, all caps, for 10% off of any order $10 or more over there. So on the screen I have my list. We'll get into that in just a moment. So recently the channel hit 2,000 subscribers. I'm super stoked on that. So thank you all for subscribing and watching the videos. I'm just happy everyone likes what I've been putting out. And hopefully you guys have been telling your friends and whatnot, and that's how the channel's growing a bit. I'm very excited for Sword and Shield coming out. I think it's a great opportunity for TCG content creators all around, just like the video game Sword and Shield coming out was very good for the VGC content creators. And I've been having a lot of fun just trying to put my authentic self into the videos. Definitely trying to hit a few different types of content. I've been trying to just get out a little more casual content, so not everything's hyper competitive. But I do know that people like to come to my channel for the more competitive stuff, so I'm definitely not shying away from the more competitive and statistical analysis and all that kind of stuff. Definitely keeping all of that going while trying to touch on a little bit more of the casual stuff, or that maybe someone who doesn't go to all of the events or compete on the circuit year-round would still enjoy to see the videos, like the set reviews and the card ratings and stuff like that. So I am starting back in graduate school. My semester will be starting probably the day after you see this video. And I'm going to try to keep the daily to semi-daily uploads still going. I uploaded almost every day over my winter break. I think I missed like 3 or so days over the winter break. But I definitely want to try to keep maybe around 5 uploads a week. And I'm going to be streaming again. I'll be streaming the Legends of Runeterra open beta, and then I'll be streaming PTCGO once Sword and Shield hits on PTCGO on February 6th. My Twitch link is in the description below if you're interested in any of that. So yeah, let's get into Dallas Regionals now. So I ended up placing 44th at Dallas Regionals, and there was over 750 players. Of course, I was hoping for the top 32, since only top 32 and above gets prize money. But I got 44th, so top 64, half a box, 50 points. Definitely not bad, getting my team on Limitless a bit. And also, I want to mention I'm on Team Gentlemen and Scholars. It's abbreviated to Team Gas, which is a little bit more of a digestible team name. And we actually had a really great weekend in Dallas. So Kieran Wagner got top 128, I got top 64, Nick Robinson got top 32, and Frank Persick got top 16. And our friend Hunter Butler, who played the same deck as Frank and Nick, which was a Team Gas deck that Hunter also worked on. Hunter actually won the whole tournament, so that was really great to see a testing partner and a friend of the team win the tournament with a deck that Frank definitely pioneered. So great weekend for my team and great weekend for my friends in general. I decided to play Mewtwo and Mew tag team, and that might come as a bit of a surprise to you all that were watching my expanded content leading up to the tournament, and it's actually a surprise to me. If you told me before I boarded my flight that I was playing Mewtwo the next day, probably if you told me when I landed that I was playing Mewtwo and Mew tag team the next day, I would not have believed you. But I roomed with my friends John and Tristan, and my friend Justin came over at some point in the night. And I had Turbo Dark and Guardian built, and I should go back just a bit. I was testing a lot of Hoopa Regirock stuff and Honchkrow shenanigans and all that, and also my team's Tina-Chomp Roxy deck. The Tina-Chomp Roxy deck just didn't sit well with me. I just wasn't drawing very well with it myself personally, but I knew my teammates really liked the deck, so I did expect at least one of them to do well, and it turned out everybody did well with the deck. So maybe I should have played that in hindsight. But aside from that, I tested the Hoopa Regirock deck a lot, and we realized that if the Turbo Dark player knew how to play against it, they were winning all the time. So I didn't want to just lose to a Turbo Dark player that kind of knew how to maneuver the stall matchup. So that was off my list of possible plays, and I went to Dallas with Turbo Dark and Guardian built, and a box of like other half decks and miscellaneous expanded cards in the box. So when we got to the hotel, I was playing Turbo Dark and Guardian into my friend Tristan's Mewtwo deck, and he was completely 100% sold on Mewtwo. This was the only deck he had been testing, and he was convinced that if you knew how to play it, you would do well with it. And Turbo Dark, I thought, was the deck that I would just default on. I figured, you know, it's a run hot deck, so let's just run hot with it. And over the course of like 5 to 10 games of Turbo Dark, I was not running hot with it. It just felt like a mess, and Guardian felt like it was too slow to keep up in a format where I expected other Tina-Chomp variants that could just one-shot me, and Mewtwo decks that could distort then one-shot me, and Turbo Dark decks that could just outspeed me. And so while I liked Guardian a lot, and it's a deck that I like the playstyle of and the build and the cards in, it wasn't the kind of deck I was comfortable going into the tournament with. So my friends John and Tristan started playing while I spread out Mewtwo on the board, on my table, or on my bed, and just started seeing what cards I needed for Mewtwo, borrowed cards, messaged people for the cards I needed, and me and Tristan and my friend Justin ended up working on a list together based off Tristan's, and we all played one card off of each other. Unfortunately, Justin didn't perform so well. He had a win-in, I believe, and lost it. And then Tristan got top 32. He went into day 2 at 7-1-1, and I went into day 2 at 6-2-1. So I'll just run through my tournament, give you guys the highlights. And so I ended up picking Mewtwo because my friend Kieran Wagner and teammate, if you guys haven't heard or seen or watched him talk about Mewtwo, he got top 8 at Portland Regionals with Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team and Expanded, and knows a lot about the deck, and a lot of my testing was against him playing Mewtwo, and a lot of my theorying was hearing him talk out the Mewtwo matchups. And then my friend Tristan also had a lot of additional opinions and reaffirming opinions on Mewtwo. So the theorying that from those two players helped me a lot, since I hadn't actually tested with Mewtwo. But after round one I played against Turbo Dark, and after that I just felt like I was in control. I felt like I knew what I was doing. I knew the cards well enough. Even though I had not tested the deck physically, I knew I had enough game sense to get myself through day 1. So I was feeling pretty good. After round 1, I just, distorted and Calamitous slashed my Turbo Dark opponent until I won. So I played against Turbo Dark, and I played against a Zora Honchkrow Control, which I tied against. I played another Mewtwo. I played a Mewtwo Mirror in day 1, which was my first loss. I went to 3-1-1 at that. I don't remember all my matchups. I have them written down somewhere, but I don't feel like just going through a tournament report. I'll just give you guys the highlights. So my loss in day 1 before round 9. So my first loss in day 1 was against a Mewtwo Mirror. I did misplay in game 1. I cannot remember for the life of me right now what that misplay was. I just know it was my first misplay of the day, and up until that I felt very confident. And my winning in was against a Sableye Garbodor, Christian Pappas in round 8. So I 2-0'd the Sableye Garbodor with the help of Venusaur and then Distort in game 2. So I went to 6-1-1, and in round 9 I played against a Mewtwo Mirror, Simon, who was second seed going to top 8, he was DQ'd in day 2 going into top 8. I forget how to pronounce his last name, but Simon, and with the DQ, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. So our mirror match there just went game 1 I dead drew, game 2 he dead drew, game 3 I dead drew, and I ended up losing that to go into day 2 at 6-2-1. Like I said, I felt very confident with the deck though, so I felt good going into day 2. I thought I could potentially get into top 32, but with 6-2-1 and 84 people in day 2, it would be a bit of a grind. So my day 2 record ended up being 2-2-1, so I ended up at 8-4-2. Which got me into top 64. So like I said, half a box and plus 50 CP. So I'll take that. I wanted to get into top 32, but I didn't. I had some very close games and some unfortunate prize cards. So all in all, I had a great weekend. I loved that so many people came up to me and, you know, talked about the channel and whatnot. I got to meet a lot of new people, even some people who were pretty new to seeing my content. I got to meet a couple people that wanted pictures and stuff, so that was very flattering, and I enjoyed meeting everyone. So that was really cool. My next major tournament will probably be Charlotte Regionals. Gonna take a little break again from tournaments, start testing Sword and Shield. Maybe play a few League Cups. My CP is currently at 225, and I've done 3 regionals and open and 4 League Cups, and I only have 2 League Cup finishes, 0 challenge finishes, so I have a bunch of CP still to get at the local level as well. So yeah, Dallas Regionals was a great weekend. Shout out to everyone I talked to that came up to me, new people I met and whatnot. Good weekend for myself and for the team. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short little video about Dallas and myself and the channel and everything. Of course, check out PotownStore.com and FlipsideGaming.com. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I will have the PTCGO exported version on my list in the description below, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.